Why, hello. I'm the doctor, and I bet you're wondering what I'm doing here. Well, I'm here to teach you about some of the elements on the periodic table. Let's give it up for the first element, strontium.
I am the esteemed William Cruikshank, and I'll tell you about strontium. It can be found naturally in the Earth's crust anywhere, but is mostly mined in Mexico. Strontium is the 15th most abundant element. This element is very hard to extract because it requires reducing strontium sulfide with carbon. It may contaminate the water with radiation. Strontium is used in red fireworks.
Thanks, Willie. Now let's go to our lab assistant for a closer look at strontium. Hello, everyone. I'm the funny and lovable lab assistant. Let's get right to talking about strontium. When put in water, strontium will dissolve quickly and release hydrogen gas at the same time. Where's the explosion? Oh well, let's just move on to the next element then.
I, Bohuslav Bronner, discovered Promethium. Minuscule amounts can be found in uranium ores as a product of uranium decay or fission. Promethium is artificially produced through the fission of plutonium, thorium, and uranium. Promethium is currently used as a beta radiation source in luminous paints, nuclear batteries for missiles, and watches.
There isn't enough to experiment. Oh well, without further ado, the next element.
The great Henry Moysen has come to inform you on fluorine. Fluorine occurs naturally in the Earth's crust. It's often mined in Mexico, so it isn't hard to get. Fluorine is the 13th most abundant element. Mining it can decrease biodiversity and contaminate soil and water. Fluorine is used in light bulbs and weapons.
Interesting. Oh, lab assistant, won't you show us more? Fluorine is the most reactive nonmetal, being a halogen at all. If you mix hydrogen and fluorine, you get poisonous hydrogen fluoride in an explosion, but that's not the only reaction. To demonstrate, let's have a montage of all the fires and explosions fluorine has helped to create. That was beautiful. Anyway, shall we go to the next element?
Of course, I am the fantastic Smithsonian tenant, discoverer of osmium. This element is found in the riverbeds of the Ural Mountains and it's rarer than gold. Osmium deposits are often hidden in other metals, so extracting it is frustrating. Osmium exposure can cause eye, skin, and lung damage. It is used in weapon shells that can break through armor. I wouldn't recommend experimenting with it.
Recommendations aren't commands. To show just how dangerous osmium can be, we turn to our unpaid lab assistant. What? Anyway, someone in Austria tried to use osmium to make the Oz lamp, but when it broke... Break more as we move on to the next element.
William Wollaston, the Palladium Master. Palladium is found with platinum and its family in Russia, as well as in nickel-copper deposits of South Africa and Ontario. All the palladium ever mined can fit in your living room because it is so rare. It's so hard to remove because it requires a large amount of energy. It can be used in dentistry because it is non-toxic, so it is safe to experiment with.
Not dangerous. Palladium, more like Palladium. Is it still explosive, lab assistant? Let's experiment. Einstein, let's talk about your element next.
It's Albert Ghiorso, not Einstein. Einsteinium is extremely rare and cannot be found naturally. It is only found when we tested the hydrogen bomb. Why? Communism. Anyways, it's difficult to create because of the small amount of nuclear reactors to bombard plutonium with. Because of the safety protocols, we haven't had a fallout until today. Why? The doctor.
Aren't all Alberts the same? No, and Einsteinium is very dangerous, so don't press that button. You mean the one I pressed 5 seconds ago? That was boring. Next.
I am Frederick Strohmeyer, and I discovered cadmium first, not Mr. Herman, who claimed he did. Cadmium is rare and can only be extracted after roasting zinc and smelting the product with carbon. When disposed improperly, it can cause cadmium poisoning in the water and soil environment, as well as damage to the human body systems when consumed. Also, it is used in batteries and TVs.
Roasting zinc? I'll start. You're so worthless you don't even make up a whole penny. Well then, now on to the final element. I, Arthur Wall, discovered plutonium along with my group. As usual, they sent me to do all the smart talking because I look like a nerd. Plutonium is found by burning uranium in nuclear reactors. It's very rare and costs a lot to make of and dispose. It's very radioactive, so it can be used in powerful bombs. Thank you for joining us on our trip through the elements. It's finally time to conclude our adventure by showing you a piece of plutonium. Here it